and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely to have you here this evening. In fact, it's extra especially lovely to have you here this evening because this is the very first and unfortunately the last of the season that you're going to catch of our GT1 race. So due to technical difficulties and, to be honest, a lack of hands around the table, we've been unable to broadcast the GT1s up until this point live. But yeah, this is coming to you live, so we're right here with the action on board with Immortalis. And it looks like, unfortunately, it's absolutely soaking here this evening at Bathurst. So, New Thought, South Wales, not renowned for the amount of rain that it does get. Australia, obviously, quite a dry place in most parts. But when they do get it, they do get it quite heavily, and they are certainly getting it here today. So, as we finish our qualifying session here, we've got Linga Bazinga in first place, Snell and Bongo in second place, and then Immortalis upsetting that 1-2-3 Dutch run and coming in third place. Jelma or Martin at 65, as you can see him on screen there, in fourth with a total of 4. Very closely followed by Jack de Mendes, so next to nothing splitting these guys. You got a Rizzler paper in between those two cars. Also 74 Ledgy, not DJ Ledgy, coming in 6th place. Blankfile in 7th, so good first out in there from Blankfile, nice to see. And he splits both the Ledgies actually, so coming in 7th in between 074 and DJ, who DJ comes in 8th place. Bruce Law not seeming to be able to get that Panos to work around here, but the Panos without traction control. And he'll come in 9th place. Murphy just to follow him in 10th. Dirk Diggler in 11th place. Tigel coming up in 12th. Luke Snipe in 13th and Mark in 14th place. And we get the lights underway, and we are away here at Bathurst. So a great start there from Immortalis, is that getting through straight through the middle, and he's pushed his way all the way straight through the first with no regard for human life. Did not take any care for either of the Dutchmen there, and he's straight through up into first. And it looks like we've got 074 Ledgy off in the background. Is that potentially Tajo? Sorry, so Tajo dropping down the order into last place there. 1, 2, 3, 4 currently on a grid is Immortalis, Snell and Bongo. Jack de Mendes sticking with it there, and Linga Bazinga dropping all the way down to 4th place. So is this tactics from Linga Bazinga letting the guys, as Immortalis goes round, and that Snell and Bongo looks like he gets caught up in that traffic though. Whether that was contact and whether he shoved him round and it was a push to pass, I'm not sure, or whether it was the infamous rubbers on the inside there. Only time will tell as they come through up onto what's called a cutting, which is one of the most difficult corners I find on this track. Banked corner, and it looks like we've got another spin there. So is that Snell and Bongo that's gone round? I think it is. Snell and Bongo will just try and drop back down the order a little bit there to see the cars coming through. So Snell and Bongo will take a spin. That'll drop him back down to 8th place. That allows Jelmer to move up to 3rd, and 074 Ledgy all the way up to 4th spot now. So a great start from 074 Ledgy to get up to 4th spot. And that's moved Blankfile all the way up to 5th as well. So these guys are starting to pick up places now due to 1 or 2 spins from the guys in front. And is that Murphy making a move on Bruce Law? See where the Murphy sticks that. I don't think he's got that manoeuvre done. He has got the manoeuvre done. He's right up the side of Bruce. Whether he can stick it here on the inside, he's still on the inside line. But we know that inside line is going to be treacherous and full of puddles. See if we can get the camera on it here. And they go side by side, all the way up the mountain straight. And they're never going to stick this through quarry, are they? There's no way, Jeff. What, they're going to go for it. Here they come all the way up through into quarry. And no, so Bruce thinks better of it, gives Murphy the run there. Murphy the bold with the 2 coming through that section there, showing Bruce's boss in there, but goes a little bit wide, and Bruce now getting his own back, and he goes straight round the side. And that's exactly how it's done, Murphy, so that'll teach you, he says. As we see Murphy and Immortalis there, looks like potentially these guys have got into a bit of contact with each other. Not seeing that, but Immortalis missing one of the front lights there, front left. So he may well have had some contact with Murphy coming through the dipper section there, which so many do. As we're going to see Snell and Bongo just coming through on the outside. So Snell and Bongo and Bruce will make their way up, and I believe that's our first pit stop there for Immortalis and Murphy. So will the guys get tyres here? And Murphy just coming right to the end of that pit stop. So and Murphy pinching his pit box there, having to get dragged into it, so that's going to take a little bit of timing. They've got to drop all the way down the order here, and as you see Luke Snipes coming past. Not heard much about Luke Snipes today. keeping his nose clean so far. Doesn't like he's got too much damage. So no news is sometimes good news. He's there in the that distinctive Zepanol livery, blue and white, which I always get confused with the Mortalis, so I do apologise for getting those two mixed up week in, week out. Getting him right here tonight. Luke Snipes, again not opting for the lights, just trying to potentially just mask where that car is in terms of racing line, but a dead giveaway obviously when he hits the brakes and the lights pop up for the car behind. So again Tyjo there, so maybe it's something to do with that green livery, but I think Tyjo's getting a bit squirrely there. He has indeed, he's just lost it there, just coming up through the cutting as he comes through onto Griffin's mount. Yep, so Tyjo again getting sideways, and he goes around again. So curse the commentator here as we focus on Luke and Tyjo, and should be careful with that reset button there as we see Mark coming through in the background. That is the red TLK of Mark, so Tyjo getting out of the way there, and Immortalis just trying to then come out on what potentially fresh tyres, so it looks like he's got it a bit pit box quicker than Murphy. Got the jump on him there, and just coming through to take 10th place past Mark. Yeah, Mark first time out with us so far this evening. I wanted to get in last week, but his schedule didn't allow it, and really has thrown himself in literally at the deep end here, and the deep end might be the correct word for it with the amount of pooling that we're seeing going on the track. As we see Tyjo really struggling to hold on to that car though. But 074 now moving out of the way and letting Jelmer go through, so whether that was an over rotation or a move out of the way, it looked more like an over rotation to prefer, not just struggling to get the power down on the inside line. So trying to cover the inside line, and as we know, as we've seen Max Verstappen do many a time, the inside line is not the right one, and you want to try and take it through very central on middle line. As Blankfile goes wide there, so that's the Blankfile in 3rd place, just tagging that wall coming through Quarry. That's really going to sting, so that is not a good place to tag the wall. It tends to suck you in there and gives you suspension damage at the same time, and yep, so Blankfile, the back of the car, really starting to switch out there, so whether that's going to see Blankfile drop there in the order now and lose that podium spot, I think potentially he might do. 074 doesn't look like he's picked up quite as much damage, but does tag the wall there himself. Again, side to side contact with the wall there, not proving too bad if you can get it just to kiss it and then come back away again. But certainly the contact that Blankfile had looked like it was suspension related, or that front right hand side of the car looking like it took a good old knock there. And I think what we're going to see is a bit of an upset here, so not quite the upset that Jack might want, but I think Jack might actually take this race. The last couple of minutes left, I can't see him wanting to pit now, as you do see Tyjo take a pit and just get some of that damage repaired. But Linga Bazinga in 6th place, and like I said, this is not for a blue flag situation, this is for position, and he is struggling to try and get back past Blankfile. So Blankfile cutting his Linga Bazinga's nose off there, but that was primarily due to contact with the wall, and certainly not a deliberate manoeuvre in front of Linga Bazinga's car, but it did actually take some momentum off him then. So Linga having to account for that. It's going to slow him up as he's trying to catch up to the rest of the pack there, so Linga just trying to pick him off now. DJ Legend now the one under pressure from Linga Bazinga, closing that gap up all the time, and next to nothing in between him now. Again, trying to make a manoeuvre, trying to give him a look, see whether he can get down his inside and see whether he can basically feint a manoeuvre and get DJ Legend to try and take a line that he essentially can go around him on. And he gets it done on the inside line anyway, so traditionally the inside line being slippier in the wet, but as we saw with Murphy a little bit earlier on, inside line can make it work on that first corner. And that is our last lap, so that is Jack de Menezes that takes the win and crosses the line, and it looks like Jelmer's going to come second, so in 3rd place will come 074 Leggy, but will will Linga Bazinga put a manoeuvre on him now, and they're just trying to go past, and one of the back markers, which I think is Luke Snipes, as he comes around the last turn, and it's going to be a drag the rest of the line. Linga looks like he's got it as 074, he does, so Linga gets it for 3rd spot. As we see, yep, so Luke will come over in 11th place. So what does that mean for our standings? Well, I think that essentially leaves things as they were with Linga Bazinga. That means Linga Bazinga is our GT1 championship winner for this season. So well done Linga Bazinga. Well done to Jack for his outstanding performance today. A great run, 2:06 from a Jack de Mente, so a blistering lap from him. Again, only equalled, or almost equalled by that of Murphy in the Toyota down in 10th place. But from me and from the rest of our drivers this evening, thank you very much for tuning in and joining us. Thank you very much for sticking with us through this season, through the GT1 Championship. And like I said, don't forget to tune in to the GT3 race on Sunday at 8 PM. And don't forget to look out and watch this space for any of our social media notifications, or anywhere on the Discord if you're already a member, for the announcements we've got coming up soon for our new series, for our prize events, and for next season. So until next time, have yourself a lovely Christmas, and I'll see you then.